Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, before I begin, I would like to apologize to everyone who might have been waiting for my reading and listening module. After my Sydney trip, I uploaded my Sydney vlog a few days ago. After my Sydney trip, I became very sick. I don't know, I must have caught a flu and yeah, I was really bedridden for 2 days. And then my nose was stuffy and then I had a sore throat. Then I was coughing as well. There was no way I could make a video with that voice. That's why you guys had to wait for this long. I'm so sorry. I finally feel better and I am here now going to make a video today on the reading module for the PTE test. Before I begin sharing the tips for the reading module, I have very exciting information to share. Since a lot of the viewers in this kind of videos are international students or people who are planning to become international students, Amber Student would really come in handy for you. Amber Student is an online platform exclusively for students and it helps find accommodation for students abroad. Whenever you travel somewhere out of your country, the first worry that you have in your mind is whether you'll find a proper accommodation for you or not. That's why Amber Student helps find you accommodation close to your university and based on your preferences, whether it's location or price or the city you want to go in. Students who book Amber properties also get great discounts through our partners on international flights, airport pickups, money transfers, free eSIM and much more. These deals are too good to let go, so make use of these perks by only clicking through the link in my link description below and make your international student journey hassle-free. Now let's get back to the video. Jumping right into the reading module for the PTE test. Unlike the other modules, there won't be specific time limits for each activity. There is an overall 29 to 31 minutes for the reading module and these are the 5 different activities. I will explain them each individually as we move forward. The first one is drop down blank, just as the name suggests. What happens in this activity is there will be a passage on the screen and there will be a few blanks in the passage. You have to read the passage and understand the context or meaning. Don't just directly jump onto the blanks and try to figure out what the blank might be, because understanding the context will help you answer the blanks. Out of the drop-down options, eliminate the obvious wrong options. There will be 4 options in the drop-down list. So out of these 4, what I would suggest you to do is eliminate the obviously wrong ones so that it's easier for you to select the right one. If unsure, move to the next blank and come back to it last. So as I said, there will be 4 to 5 blanks in the passage. So if you are stuck with the first blank, don't just keep on trying to answer it. Move on to the next blank and then try to attempt the first blank that you had doubts in at the very end so that you don't waste time. Try reading the sentence with all the options and listen to how it sounds. So if you are really unsure about which one is the right answer, try reading the sentence with each of the options and try to hear it out which sounds right. In general, I would recommend you to not spend a lot of time in this activity. Here is one example. A large percentage of the world's population gained dash to technologies that so this is a sentence and these are the options. So which one best fits in the blank, you just have to select and the answer will directly appear here. In the drop down options, you can see that egress and recess is obviously the wrong answer, so you just eliminate it and then you figure out which one is the right one from these two. Most people struggle with the rules in English, especially in the reading and writing section for the PTE. That's why I thought I will just give you a brief explanation on the fundamentals of English, especially for reading and writing. I will explain on the 8 parts of speech. The first one is noun. Noun is the name of a place, person, thing or idea. For example, it can be either a letter or Asia. Asia is a noun. Karma is also a noun. And proper noun starts with capital letter, but common nouns do not. So please remember this, proper noun starts with capital letter. Not all nouns starts with capital letter. A proper noun is a noun given to a person, place or a thing that only it can have. No other nouns can have it except itself. So that's why it's a proper noun. For example, July. So a common noun is a noun which is usually given to a collection of objects or a group. For example, school, teacher, girl. So when the nouns like school, teacher, there's nothing particular or specific about it. It's just a common title given to the noun. So make them particular. You can make these common nouns particular using articles like the. So for example, when you say school, it's a very generic noun, right? But which school? That school or the school. So then it becomes particular. That's what I meant. Now second one is pronouns. Pronouns are the word used in place of noun. So example, she, they, he, me, it. Verbs are action word. So for example, dance, speak, write, become. Helping verbs help add more detail to verb like can dance, can write, should become, would write. These are the helping verbs. Number 4 is adjective. Adjective is a describing word. For example, pretty, quick, boring. I'm going very quick through this because these are very basic terms in English. Number 5 is adverb. Adverb modifies or describes a verb. So for example, earlier the verb was boring. Now when we add very boring, it adds some extra meaning or some extra drama to the verb, right? So that's what adverb does. Number 6 is preposition. Word added before noun or pronouns to form a phrase. For example, the noun is river, so when you add by the river, turns the verb into a phrase. The road is the noun, so when we add across the road, it becomes a phrase, and it also shows the position. And the noun is tomorrow, and when you add until, it gives a little information about the position or the timeline. Preposition isn't really important in this writing or the reading module, but I'm just explaining it. Number 7 is conjunction. Conjunction, it joins words, phrases, or clauses. For example, but, neither, nor, either, or, because, for, since. Conjunction joins two different sentences together. If there is a neither, it should be followed by a nor, and if there is a either, it should be followed by or. You can't mix it up together. Number 8 and the last part of speech is interjection. Interjection is a word used to express emotion. For example, ouch, wow, or when you say oops. These are the words under interjection. To move on to the next one, it is the forms of verb. There are 3 different forms of verb. The first one is the present form of verb, which is very simple. Speak, cry. The second form of verb is the past form of verb. For example, speak becomes spoke and cry becomes cried. Then the third form of verb is past participle. Past participle is usually formed when the verb is followed by the suffix ed or en, and the present participle where the suffix is ing. So see, spoke becomes spoken and cry becomes crying. Before these verbs, we can also add words like had, has been, have, but that depends on the types of nouns and their verb forms. That's why I'll give you a quick explanation on which nouns or pronouns will have which kind of verbs. Singular pronouns such as I becomes we when it changes to plural, you becomes you, and he, she, it becomes they. So these are first person, second person, and third person. For first person singular pronoun, it should be followed by have, not has, because it is singular, and the noun and the verb should be go. Second person singular, you should be followed by again have because it's singular, and the verb should be go again. For the third person singular, like he, she, it, the pronouns should be followed by has, not have, because it's third person, and the verb changes to goes. For plural pronouns like we, you, and they, the verb stays just the same because all of these are plural pronouns. So for plural pronouns, the verb forms always stays as have. For the lower section, remember that we are dealing with the past form of verbs. Earlier it was go, now it's went, right? So for first person singular I, it has to be followed by had, not has, or not have. It has to be followed by had. Why? Because it's not in the present. It has already happened, so it has to be had. For second person singular you, it has to be had this time as well, not have, because it has already happened. For second person singular you, it should also be had. And third person, he, she, it should be had as well. And the verbs, it can be I went, you went, he went, she went, it went. For plural pronouns like we, you, and they, the verbs remain the same as well, and the verb forms also remain the same. What you can notice here is for the past forms of verb, it doesn't matter whether it is singular or plural pronouns, it always stays the same. And for present form of verbs, you can see that single pronouns have different verbs and verb forms, and plural pronouns have different verb and verb forms. These are the rules for singular and plural nouns and their verb forms, and I hope it helps you answer the questions in the drop-down blank. The second activity is MCQ, multiple choice questions, but in this activity there will be multiple answers correct, not just one. There will be a passage given on the screen and you will have to answer the question by reading the passage. I would recommend you to read the question first before you start reading the passage because it helps you figure out what you're actually looking for. Remember that there will be 2 or more answers correct in this activity, so you have to choose the answers carefully. There is negative marking for wrong answer. If you're only sure about one answer, select that and don't select the ones you're not sure about because you can lose marks. For example, if you have selected one right answer and the other option was wrong, then you get 0 marks because your two answers have just cancelled out each other. So that's why only select the one you're sure about. There's nothing much to explain in this activity because giving an example or a demo wouldn't really help you because the questions will obviously be very different. The third activity is reorder paragraph. In this activity, 4 to 6 sentences will be provided to you in a jumbled order, and you will have to arrange these sentences in the right order so that it makes sense at the very end. First, look for general sentence or independent sentence. What is a general sentence or an independent sentence? An independent sentence is a sentence that does not need other sentences to make sense or get the context of the discussion. It is a sentence that can stand on its own, and it's usually at the top of the order. Each sentence follows the previous sentence, and after reordering, try reading it to see if the sequence flows well. I will explain it to you using an example so that you understand what I'm talking about. In the test, you will be given sentences like this, all in the jumbled order. And if you read it right now, it wouldn't make sense because there's no order at all. What you have to do is try to arrange these sentences in the right order so that when you read it all together, it makes sense. First, what you need to do is figure out which one is the independent sentence. So that's why out of these sentences, you have to see which sentence can stand on its own. When I quickly skim through these sentences, I can see that it's talking about a volcanic eruption. For the volcanic eruption, before it even happens, there needs to be a sign that it's going to happen, right? So that's why I need to find out which sentence can be an independent sentence. So the ground started to shake as smoke and ash rose from the volcano. So all the other sentences looks like it is in the later part of the incident. So that's why you need to select the first one and then put it on the top, and then the rest will follow. During my test, I personally found this activity quite easy because they don't really give you complicated sentences. You just have to focus and try to figure out the independent sentence first, and the rest will all fall into place. The fourth activity is drag and drop blank, or it's also called fill in the blanks. Similar to the drop down blank activity, you will be given a passage and there will be blanks in the passage. So instead of the drop down list, you will have to choose the correct answer, drag it and drop it in the blank. So that's the only thing that is different in this activity. The options look similar to each other, so choose carefully. If unsure, move to the next blank and do the doubtful blank at the very end so that you don't waste time. Again, just like the drop down blank, you shouldn't spend a lot of time in this activity because it doesn't have a lot of marks and it wouldn't be smart to spend a lot of time on it. Just an example on the drag and drop blank. As you can see, there are blanks. You'll just have to choose the correct answer and drag and drop it in the blanks. That's it for activity number 4. And the last activity is MCQ. This is similar to the MCQ activity earlier, but the only difference is instead of multiple answers being correct, there is only one answer correct. Read the question first and then read the passage so that you again know what you're looking for in the passage. There is no negative marking, so don't leave the question unanswered. Even if you're unsure about the answer, just select one so that there is at least a chance that you might get it correct. This is all for the reading module for the PTE test. Remember, there are 5 activities, and unlike the other activity, you won't get specific time limit for each of the activity. There is an overall time, so you need to manage time properly, otherwise you can lose marks because you won't get time to attempt some of the activities. I would like to thank you once again for your patience. I have read all the comments in my previous video where people have shared that after watching my video, it really helped them get the scores they always wanted. That makes me happy and it keeps pushing me to go forward. Thank you all for always supporting. And yes, don't forget to check out my link in the link description below for Amber students. Use Amber students to make your international student journey easy right from the beginning. Thank you and see you next time for the listening module for the PTE test. Bye!